Alright, Nisi Gabriel joins us now from Daura, Katsina State. Thank you for joining us, Nisi. Tell us what the mood is like and what the expectations of the people are for today.
All right, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria arrived at the Umaru Musa Yar'Adua International Airport a few moments ago, and now she was received by the governor of the state, Umar Rada, and now he ushered her to the holding room. So just right beside me there's a holding room where dignitaries are seated and they are waiting for the arrival of the 001, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And like we were informed earlier, once the President arrives, he's going to take, okay, it seems a plane just landed, so, okay, that doesn't look like the aircraft of Mr. President. So once the President arrives, he's going to take his salute at the quarter guard. From there, he's going to also sit at the holding room while we all wait for the remains of former President Muhammadu Buhari to arrive at this particular airport. Well, the mood here is one of sorrow, I must tell you, because the First Lady is also dressed in a black regalia, just to tell you that she's in the mourning mood. And all the women here in the States, the First Lady of Katsina State and other First Lady from across the 36 states who are present here are all dressed up in black regalia. So that's to tell you that the people of Katsina State, northern Nigeria, and Nigeria at large are in a mourning mood as everyone prepares to receive the remains of former President Muhammadu Buhari and move straight to Daura for his funeral.
Well, listen, when the funeral concludes, are there any other events lined up to commemorate the passing of the late president?
Sorry, I didn't get that. Can you come again?
I said when the funeral is concluded, are there any other events lined up to commemorate the passing of former President Muhammadu Buhari?
Well, what we do know for now is that there will be a 3 days mourning period and praying period too. And as you already know, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has directed 25 members from his Federal Executive Council to also be part of this 3 days mourning period. And we saw them all here. We saw the Minister of Information, we saw the Minister of State for Health, Minister of Environment, and several other cabinet members of Mr. President. They are all here in Katsina State. So we know they'll be observing this 3 days mourning and praying period in honor of the former president.
Nisi, well, you know what? When I spoke with you last, we were just talking about security, and then I saw you in a long conversation with the security personnel. What was that discussion like? I even saw your arm coming in front of the camera, moving things around. What ended up happening there with the security personnel?
Yeah, it was a feisty one because where we are staying right now, we are given this position by the Villa Security Protocol. So, and before you know it, some soldiers, some personnel came to say we have to move from here to the sideline of the tarmac. But believe me, I tell you, once we get to that sideline of the tarmac, we will not be able to capture the arrival, the full arrival of the remains of the former president. So we had to tell them and we had to stress our point to them that where we are staying now is best for us because we are streaming this live for millions of our viewers all over the world to see how Nigeria and how the state is honoring its former president, because this is the final moments of former President Muhammadu Buhari, and everyone is glued to Katsina State. Everyone, all roads leads to Daura to see how Nigeria, West Africa, and the whole world will honor this man who has been described by many as a towering figure, someone who lived a simple and humble life with integrity.
Anybody from outside the country representing the foreign, relationship that he had when he was president of the country? Or are we expecting any?
Sorry,
Can you hear me, Nisi?
It's pretty loud.
I'm at the tarmac, so it's a bit noisy here.
Yeah, I can hear that. I was asking if we're expecting anybody from the foreign nations Nigeria had relationship with, and looking at the fact that he built some foreign, bilateral relationship when he was president of the country.
Has already arrived here, and we are also told that we're expecting several heads of states from various West African countries here in Katsina State. So we are expecting several of them in Katsina, and any moment from now, some of them will be arriving, and we believe everyone here are waiting for the remains of the former president to arrive while he proceeds to Daura for his interment. All right, so I have with me the Minister of Agri, who is here in Katsina State. So we'll be having a conversation with him just to get a feel of how he's feeling and what's the mood like here in Katsina. Thank you for joining our rise, Honorable Minister.
Thank you.
All right, what was your immediate reaction when you first heard of the passing of former President Muhammadu Buhari?
Well, for me, it came as a shock because I never expected his death would come too soon. Because he was a great man. But we all know that every human being must face death. And it's God's way of taking him away from us. God knows best. So, but by and large, he's a man that has lived a very, very exemplary life, very honest, very humble, to the core, and he has made so much impact in Nigeria throughout his life. So many things have been spoken about him, but you could see the outpouring of grief here. You could see the kind of people that have come to witness his funeral, and really, it saddens us, but we believe that he will be in paradise because of his good work that he has done in life.
I agree with you. There's really a heavy outpouring of grief. There's really a heavy outpouring of grief here in Katsina State. Did you have any personal relationship with the former president? Sorry, Minister. Honorable Minister, sorry for that. It seems any moment from now the president will be here, so they are trying to make way for it. I was asking, sir, did you have any personal relationship with the former president while he was still alive?
Well, when he became president, I was also elected into the Nigerian Senate in 2015, and also served on 2 terms in the Senate, and halfway, maybe in 2022, I resigned from the Senate and contested for the acting deputy national chairman of the ruling party when he was president. Then, when he was transition to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's tenure. So we have had a lot of interactions and a lot of, that he has impacted, like I said, in so many ways, both in the way he's attitudinal and in terms of his humility, his behavior. Is somebody that, that has been a big mentor to everybody.
Finally, Minister, before I let you go, what does this death mean for Nigeria and West Africa as a whole, and even northern Nigeria? Because there are some people saying it's an end of an era.
We have lost a patriot. And you could see the outpouring of grief. You could see the number of people that have arrived so far in order to receive his body. And I've learned that there's so many people also in his hometown in Daura. And since his death was announced, you could see the outpouring of grief and condolences and sympathies that have accompanied Mr. President and his family and the population of Nigeria.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. We appreciate your time with our rise. Thank you very much. All right, that was the Minister of Agri, and as you can see, live pictures here from the Buhari'S here at Daura International Airport, and the full quarter guard are filing out. They have taken their full position, and what that signals is that any moment from now, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be arriving at this airport, and once he arrives, that's also a signal to show that in a few minutes' time, the remains of former President Muhammadu Buhari will also arrive, and the full ceremony recommenced in earnest. Roses.
When he was the head of state, he came up with war against indiscipline. And that kept us on our toes for some of us who were around that time. And that made Nigeria more disciplined as a people. We are conscious of his directives on being disciplined. As the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, he stood for integrity. You can't take it away from him. He was a man that we were proud of, both within the shores of Nigeria and outside the shores of Nigeria. He was seen as a man who was accountable and a man who had the spirit of integrity. There's no other word that you can use to describe the president beyond that he was selfless. He had integrity. He loved the people of Nigeria. He loved Nigeria. And it is a sad moment for all of us as a nation, because as some of us who are coming up in leadership, we had a lot to learn from him. And we wish he lived longer for us to keep learning some of these virtues that define him as a person, a leader we are proud of. We pray that the family will find the strength to bear this loss, and also Nigerians that will find the fortitude to bear the loss. Thank you very much.
Well, inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Very fond memories of the late president for what he did to Nigeria. He came, he saw, and he conquered. We are grateful for all that he did, and we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his life, and we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will rest him in eternity in perfect peace. Thank you.
Well, like every other Nigerian, we have very deep memories of the departed former president. He was indeed a man of vision, a man who promoted unity together with his colleagues in Nigeria. I'm sure all of us will miss him sorely. We are glad that he has lived a good life. We are glad that some of those ideals that he has laid behind will continue. We also call on the younger ones to emulate some of those good qualities of former President Muhammadu Buhari, may his soul rest in peace. And the federal government, as you know, heavily led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has put in place a solid arrangement for the state funeral. Very soon we're expecting that to kick off. Already you have seen that dignitaries have started coming from across the Nigeria. We just saw the Prime Minister of Niger. We saw other dignitaries that have also come. Many of the cabinet members, as directed by Mr. President, are already in Katsina here. About 25 cabinet members are already here to witness this, and we are going to stay put in tomorrow until after the third day prayer. We pray for the repose of the soul of late President Muhammadu Buhari, and we do hope the lessons of this will also help us to come together again in unity and for the progress of Nigeria, like President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has always preached. And we do hope that going forward, some of the good qualities, like I said earlier, of former President Muhammadu Buhari will be emulated by the younger ones. All we need at this time is prayers for unity, prayers for peace and for the prosperity of the whole country. So as we await the arrival of Mr. President and the arrival of the remains of the former president, we will stay put here and we'll keep you updated.
Well, it's unfortunate for what happened, but President Buhari was a great leader. And I can assure you that Nigerians are going to miss him.
What are some of the values, these values that
Well, I mean, he was a leader that had a foresight and was able to do so much for the country through his transformation agenda when he was president and even when he was head of state in Nigeria. So we're going to miss him. Thank you. Thank you.
We join Arise News correspondent Ayo Adinayi in Daura, Katsina State, the hometown of former President Muhammadu Buhari, to bring us updates about activities going on there. Thank you so much for joining us, Ayo. Please fill us in.
All right, thank you very much. Good afternoon once again to you over there. Well, activities, like you said, in Daura, the hometown of the former late president. Activities are already in top gear. This morning, this place was actually not fixed like this, where the funeral prayer is going to be held, as you are seeing on the camera. It wasn't fixed, but work was working. The guys that were working on it this morning, they have to speed up the work to see that they get everything set. And majorly, they are just barricades so that the place is an open field area, but they have to come up with some of these barricades so that people will not just come in anyhow without a particular access, while there is a particular access, just one access road to the particular place. And just like we said earlier, that the helipad that will be bringing the remains, hopefully, of the late president, former president, is just by my right-hand side, just a stone throw from this particular location where I am standing. But you also see the amount of security personnel that are here who have also taken position and have manned every location to see that things don't go wrong, and the order is that nothing must go wrong in this particular place where we are. But preparation, as seconds go by, as minutes goes by, it tells us a sense of a feeling that it seems that the remains of the president will soon arrive at Daura very, very soon. But earlier we spoke with the nephew of the late former president, that is Nuhu Daura, who confirmed to us hopefully that the body should arrive in Katsina by 2 p.m. and hopefully by 3, the funeral prayer should be held in this particular place. The funeral will be held here, while the burial, like we have confirmed, that the burial will be held inside his residence, which is just a stone throw from this particular place where I am standing.
What about space, Ayo? Is there enough space to accommodate the people? Because we just spoke with Nisi, who is right now at the airport, and we know that there are a lot of people that are expected to come all the way, to pay their last respect to the former president. Do we have enough space to accommodate the people coming?
With what we have seen on ground and talking about space, it might be possible. It might practically be impossible to have, enough space to accommodate the number of people that are coming. And like I said earlier, when I was speaking with Rotus, I told him that the residence of the former late president is what we can just call a very small place, in quote, of what people will expect of someone who was once a president of the country. You expect a very big mansion, that can accommodate thousands of people. But from what we have seen, it's a house that it cannot, practically not be possible to accommodate the number of dignitaries that are already on ground now. And I know there are still more dignitaries that are coming from Katsina. Earlier we have, former governor of Rivers State, and also who is also a minister too under the late president administration, Rotimi Amechi, who is also a title holder in this particular town. We have the former governor of Ogun State, Ibikule Amosun, the former governor of Borno State, Sheriff Alimodu Sheriff, and a host of others who have also been here. Pantami, Malami, El Rufai was also here yesterday and is in Katsina, hopefully to join them. So like you said, we have a lot of dignitaries who are coming, but the security personnel have tried, within their own strength to see that only those that matters will be allowed, to gain access into the residence of the former president, So only those that needs to be there, who have business to be there, not even people who are living in the house. Yes, there are people who are just living there, running their own normal day-to-day activities. For today, the house does not belong to them. It belongs to those dignitaries. So we'll wait to see how the security agencies are going to manage, the little space they have in this residence. But for where we are now, this particular place, the field where the funeral will also be held. From what we have seen, this space may not be too enough, to contain the number of people that are actually coming. But like I said, we'll wait to see how this will be managed. But I think gradually it has been managed, because we stand here, you can't find any other person aside from security personnel. Those are the only people that you can see, and other pressmen that are here. These are the only people you can see around this particular area. So every other persons have been kept outside there. So probably when the president arrives with the remains of the former late president, gradually access will be granted to those who need to be in this particular place. But of course, everyone cannot be allowed to go here to avoid a stampede.
I was saying earlier that events like this that beam a spotlight on an area, highlight infrastructure and things people do not know much. I mean, for a lot of people, I'd never even heard of Daura until President Buhari burst onto the scene and popularized it. Clarify for me, earlier you were saying when you arrived, over the last 24 hours, there's been 24/7 power. And you were talking about how much the president has invested in making that community vibrant. When you talked about the lady who was mourning him. Is it 24/7 power just within the last 24 hours, or that area has efficient power supply all the time? Clarify that for me.
Yes, from what we have gathered so far, it's not just this moment, it's something that is common with this particular location, or the Daura town. We're also here in 2021 or 2022 then, when the former governor of Rivers State was turbaned as the Amana of this town, of Daura town. We had similar experience too. So it's not about the moment of what happened that is bringing up this, but it has been like that. And like I said, aside, from the good roads that we can see, very, very good road network. Everywhere we have passed through, there is no place that is not tarred. Not just places that leads to its own house, but the whole town. We've been privileged, since we arrived here yesterday, we've been privileged to move around the town, either to get what to eat, either to meet with some of our colleagues too, who are here too. But from what we have seen so far in the entire community, the whole roads here are tarred, and everywhere you go, you can at least find a good water that you can drink even without thieving. At least for me personally, I've had a taste of the water here. And like I said, this is also a testament of what the people have also said. Like I said it earlier, that we met a woman who told us, what they have enjoyed with the presence, having produced the president, some of the good benefits that have really come. And their fear is just, will this continue after the demise of the president? And of course, we have the University of Transportation here also. We have the Federal University, the Federal Polytechnic Daura also. We have a lot of institutions that have been brought here, to just to appreciate the fact that this man was the president, or was once the president of this country. So we have a lot of monuments, we have a lot of things that you expect in quotes, not to find in towns like this, but we have it. Like I said, we have the University of Transportation, we have, which is also named after him, we have the Federal Polytechnic Daura. We have a whole lot of things in this particular community that makes the community very beautiful and very nice to live in.
All right, thank you, Ayo Adenayi, Buhari'S news correspondent right there in Katsina, Daura, Katsina State, for us, for bringing us up to speed on the event happening there on the burial rites of the former president, Muhammadu Buhari. Thank you.